In Module 2, Lesson 3, we're doing some more translations, and this time it's a translation of a line and a point. There's 3 important points that we need to take away from Lesson 3. The first is that 2 lines are parallel if they do not intersect. We've known this, we still know it. 2 lines are parallel and they don't cross. Translations map parallel lines to parallel lines. So if you're going to take 2 parallel lines and you're going to translate one of them in any direction, you will end up with another parallel line. And given a line and a point not on the line, you can make one parallel line passing through that point. So let me show you what all of this looks like, and I'm going to use the GeoGebra app. So you can pull up GeoGebra on your Chromebooks and go to Geometry. The first thing I want to do is I want to create a line. So create my line, and I'm going to create a point not on that line. Okay, so there are my points. And I want to show the labels so that you can see what those are called. Okay, so I have line AB and I have a point C. I can create a parallel line by going to the line box here. It's the one right after the lines, the segments, and the rays. It's this one right here. You can create a perpendicular line, you can create parallel lines, you can do a few other things which we'll get to later. Let's work on the parallel line. If you select the point and then you select the line, it'll create a parallel line through point C. Now what we've actually done is we've taken the line and we've translated it up through point C. And what you notice about those lines is that they are parallel and they look parallel. Okay, let's create a vector. I'd like to create a vector A, B. Okay, so now I have a line when I have vector AB through it. Now if I create a point, okay, we're going to call that point D. Let me show the label. Okay, and I want to create a translation of that point through the vector. So it says I'm going to select D, the object to translate, and then I'm going to select the vector. And notice I get D and D prime. So point D was my original point, D prime is my translation along the vector AB. Now if I connect those points with a line, I'm going to connect D and D prime with a line, I'm going to end up with another parallel line. So now the line through C is parallel with the line through AB, which is parallel with the line through D, D prime. Now another thing I want to mention is that I create another vector. Doesn't matter where. And I could create the vector here. Okay, so now I've created a vector. I take any of these lines. Okay, they're all parallel to each other. Doesn't matter which one. But I'm going to take any of these lines. Doesn't matter. We're going to translate by a vector. I'm going to select the line to translate and the vector to translate it by. And it creates yet another parallel line. And you can see that if I were to map D onto the vector, you can see that it moves exactly the distance of the vector. And it doesn't matter what direction it's in, because no matter what direction it's in, it's still going to be parallel, because the line goes to infinity on either side. So it's going to keep stretching on and on beyond our page. So no matter how I shift my vector, if you don't believe me, you can try it and move it around. No matter how I shift my vector, we'll end up with another parallel line. And I can even use my vector to map a parallel line onto a parallel line. And eventually we're going to see that this is called a parallel line cut by a transversal. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next couple of lessons. So try it yourself, get out GeoGebra, play with it, translate some lines.